Well, good morning and welcome back out to the woods. And as hopefully you can maybe make out, there's a little bit of mist about. In fact, actually, that's an understatement. There's a lot of mist about, which may actually prove to be a bit of a problem. While it's nice and atmospheric, there's just no light now. Sunrise is about now. So hopefully as that sun maybe comes up a little bit, it'll burn a little bit of this off, but not too quickly. Oh, we don't ask for much, sure we don't. Stay around, but not too much. Get a little bit of sun in, but not too much. Anyway, we'll go for a little bit of a dander. I was actually contemplating not coming out this morning, mainly because there's a bit of a breeze and there was no mist or fog forecast. And then I looked out the window and thought, there is quite a lot of mist. But is that just sea mist because we live right by the coast? But I thought I would give it a chance, come out. And we have mist. But now we want just a little bit less. Right, we'll go for a dander and see what we can see. Oh, well, back in the car, and I've actually driven to another location. There just wasn't anything going on in that other woodland, so I've actually brought myself down to a little woodland by the river. And again, the sun hasn't yet really broken through the mist, so we're not getting any sort of colour temperature sort of lift, which is a bit of a shame, but hopefully that'll burn off. And can I just quickly say a thing while I'm in the car? I watch a fair amount of YouTube videos, both photographers and travel vloggers. Can I just say, stop recording while you're driving for B-roll. I would even suggest, having a GoPro mounted. Is that taking your eye off, or maybe you're doing drone footage? Guys, come on. Now, yeah. If anything, I would like YouTube to maybe step in and say, kind of a 3-strike rule. We see you doing this here. Bang. Channel gone. Because, guys, it's not cool. So, that's all I'm going to say on the matter. It's one of the reasons why you won't get any driving footage from me. So just don't do it. Just don't do it. Right. Rant over. I'm going to head out now and see what I can see. So, I've been trying to make, the last couple of times I've been to this little woodland, and there's been even a hint of mist, I've been trying to make something work on the path. And it's not really to do with the path as such, because the path is a little bit scruffy, but it's more to do with, I just sort of step out of the way, and it's not just this section here, but there's some lovely different sort of shapes of trees. But now I came here yesterday morning after I had been up at Misty Woodland Temple, which is I think a vlog you would have seen last week or at some point, and the conditions were really nice. The sun had broken through, there was a bit less mist about, but I still struggled to sort of make this path work. So to say we do have a thicker bank of mist on our hands this morning, and as I say, that sun now, it's only coming up in 7 o'clock, so it only takes a little bit more for that sun to really start breaking through, and it might give us a little bit of conditions. But I think what I'm going to do is just very slowly wander up this path and just see whether I can get something to work. I think if the path itself was a little more photogenic, photogenic path, say. I think that would work. I think that's what always kind of my eye gets drawn to, the muddiness, the scruffiness of the path. But I just love the trees along this path, the different shapes. So anyway, and of course, a real issue whenever you have misty conditions like this is it does kind of lift the photographic potential, but you know, you can still just be looking at a scruffy image that just has a little bit of mist in it. So anyway, we'll wander on. So just came across a little clearing along the river here, and I really liked how the upper branches of the trees were almost giving me a bit of a framing. And so I've got the image in woodpecker. And in fact, I was literally just setting up this shot now. I was fumbling around trying to see what I was going to record it on, so I only got a little bit of footage at the very end. Pretty sure it's a mink rather than an otter. I've seen mink on this river before, which of course isn't a great thing, because they do obliterate a lot of the wildlife. But yeah, it'd be incredible if it was otters, but it actually looked really big as well. I guess some of the big dog otters can be quite big. Anyway, so I've got a portrait orientation set up, and bottom of the frame I'm also sort of duplicating the sort of, hopefully the two branches sort of reaching down with the reflection of the trees. Now the mist, since I've been chatting to you, has ever so slightly sort of reduced, and I'm now seeing a little bit more of those back trees, which maybe isn't working as well. I quite liked it before I sort of got set up. Those back trees weren't really sort of in view, it was just really the reflections, but I'll go ahead and make the image anyway. So shooting F something or other as usual, actually focusing on the upper branches, because obviously the far trees are in mist anyway, so they're going to be nice and soft, and that's what I want. So just focusing on those upper branches. 2-second timer, and that isn't a bad start to the morning. Right, we'll wander on. Came across another really simple scene here, and no more than 4 or 5 footsteps from where I made that last image. Just these lovely sort of reeds, and it's all about the mist, because it's throwing the background completely sort of into white. And so I've just got it set up 3x2 horizontal, probably out at about 100mm, which, as you know, with this 18-135 lens perhaps isn't the sharpest, but I have got the 1-400 in the bag. I should probably stop being lazy and get that out, but I think we'll be okay just because of the softness in the morning. Now I might also try a 16:9 crop on this as well, but I quite like the 3x2 aspect ratio because it's allowing the bottom of the reeds to kind of bowl up around. So, but yeah, another very simple little image. I quite like that. Oh, just very quickly, a little bit like when shooting in snow. Obviously, camera, if you leave this on sort of metering, is perhaps going to underexpose things a little bit. So I'm shooting about a stop overexposed because I want to bring that crisp and that whiteness out, and I don't want to have to rely on doing that in post because it's just never the same. So both the image before and this one, shooting with about a stop of positive exposure, just as I say, to bring out that nice crisp white. So I've actually turned my attention now pointing into the woodland, and a little flash of colour And this tree actually does. I'm pretty sure it stays this colour all year round. Maybe it's a fake tree. I don't think I've ever seen it green before. And just that little flash of colour. Now, I'm experimenting with both a 16:9 and a 3:2 aspect ratio, and using the path, but also sort of paying attention. I really like the 3 on the left hand side, the 3 very upright trees, and then sort of the little blast of colour, and then the path leads all the way down through the frame. So now I kind of got the image set up, and then it is now 7:20, so it's not unexpected. A few dog walkers kicking around. I didn't want anyone in the frame, so it's just a case of standing around. And of course, dogs do not like tripods, especially when they're not moving or being thrown like a stick. So just using the path to sort of hopefully lead my eye through the frame, and then just that little blast of colour on the left hand side. Now that temperature rises up just a notch. I think that would actually add a better element to it, but I guess we take what we're given. So I shall go ahead and shoot this frame now. As always, 2-second timer. Not too shabby. So the scene behind me here is one that I first came across back, I think it would have been spring, certainly whenever there were plenty more leaves on the trees, and I kind of had a bit of a vision of maybe what this would work in conditions such as this, or better still, sort of in autumn time with a little bit of mist. But I just can't really get it working. Now, I love this tree, and I love how its upper limbs kind of can stretch right the way across the frame, but I think its little counterpart, the little stump, is a bit off-putting. And of course I could move to my left, your right here, and sort of hide the stump in behind the tree, but then the whole balance of the image is lost, which is kind of unfortunate, because I really thought that this might have some potential, but I just think that stump just isn't really working. So get a big hacksaw, axe, and chop it up for firewood. Actually no, it's actually used as a bird table. Every time I come past here, there's always fresh mealworm on there, so good stuff, whoever's feeding the birds. Right, I'll throw up an image, maybe a couple of images from here, but I just don't think they work, even when there is some lovely mist. So mist isn't everything, not when you've got a stump. So another nice scene behind me, and what really caught my eye here was two things. One, that lovely sort of twisted tree, and then the primroses kind of below it, just adding a little bit of splash of colour. So I've shot both a standard horizontal image and also shot a panoramic as well, and that sun's now starting to really lift the temperature and give some lovely side lighting to some of those tree trunks. Now, one of the issues with the panoramic is I was kind of starting off in the shadows here, and obviously then we're moving through to the brighter image, so balancing that exposure throughout all of the frames will be interesting. But I particularly like just that lovely little, in fact I think even by itself there might even be a portrait shot in there to be had as well. So right, I shall once again throw this image up, or one of them up, and we shall again wander on and make hay while the mist is here or something. Alright guys, so a bit dark there. So that is pretty much all of that early morning mist now burnt off. The sun has broken through and the conditions have, well, we've lost them. I mean, it's still a beautiful morning and day off today, so I'm going to go back, grab some breakfast and then jump in the old camper van and head out for the day, I think. Just chill out. But that was a very enjoyable morning. I guess it's not great images, to be honest, but just lovely to be out with a camera as always. Well guys, once again, thanks a lot for following along, and until next time, take care. Bye bye.